trigger happy and I give less than a fuck. Love me or hate me, I'ma show enough, rip shit up. It's Mr. Nothing, nice on a mic stand. Mic in the left and the zest in my right hand. I took a puff, had enough now, hold up. If that was Indo, niggas getting rolled up.
What's going on, folks? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to talk to you guys about Blood on the Dance Floor's Let's Start a Riot. So this project came out in 2008, and basically it kicked off like a whole series of albums. They were really huge in the crunkcore and electronic music department. Davi Vanity wound up getting some more band members, but basically the whole thing about this group is that they had a lot of electronic and social outing songs. I definitely feel like something noteworthy about Blood on the Dance Floor for those who are completely new, if you're just kind of curious or whatnot. Basically, they are pretty much pros at doing like club songs, rave songs, dance club songs, and just general outgoing and kind of vibey kind of songs that you would hear on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night. I mean, really, they can go toe to toe with some of the most profound that do this. And I definitely feel like if you cannot shake a jig to Blood on the Dance Floor, then you might not have too many jivey bones in your body. I definitely feel like they've got something going here. And I mean, really, the thing about this project is it's quite low key. As I look up information, it really doesn't have a wiki page on it, and several Blood on the Dance Floor albums don't either. So I'm kind of having to go off a whim in terms of information as far as what to say about this project. But I am at least aware that it had one single, which was Money and Hoes, and that's a pretty stellar song. I'll go ahead and talk about that. So basically, Money and Hoes kind of has it's a standard club bop, something that you might have heard from I'm trying to think of like a rapper who would have dropped something like that. Maybe like Lil Boozy, someone like that. Someone who really was kind of a low-key rapper and just generally only got to like the first single, something like that. Something T-Pain would have done in his early days. Not quite Akon. Akon was large enough, but like T-Pain or I can't really think of too many low-key rappers right now. So just someone who just didn't really have too many hit singles start off, but it's just a nice club bop, real easy going and mellow, not too lyrical, mainly about vibes. And that's how a lot of this project kind of works. The hook is pretty good also. I mean, really, it works just kind of in that electronic but then still club setting type feel, but then it also kind of comes off as like a light rap song. I feel like MTV in the right circumstance probably could have picked this song up, or maybe even MTV2. That's probably where it would have more than likely been found. But yeah, I mean, a lot of this has like a light rap feel to it, and in a lot of ways it also has it definitely has that emo and goth setting, but then I would also have to say that it's the alternative vibes towards it. This is not something like Paramore. This is not something like Avril Lavigne. This is not something like Blink 182 or even MGK, something like that. I mean, it just had an original. I really felt like the fact that this came out in 2008 says a lot, just because the aspect behind it, the original type music just kind of hits out of nowhere because it's just so bewildering. You listen to a song like Money and Hoes and you say, why weren't there songs like this 4, 5, 6 years before that? And really 4, 5, 6 years later, in some sense, I mean, things started to kind of pick up on it, but I really felt like this just has a lot of distinction, which not every single song now, especially nowadays, kind of has. I mean, it's not like it's lacking to the degree that like I may make it seem, but I want to point out that Money and Hoes had a lot of flair, definite kind of flair to it. And there's just a lot of stuff on this project that has like I said, it has a pretty professional viewing of like the outgoing sense, and it has plenty to offer in terms of if you like this having a nice Thursday, Friday night, it's got plenty to offer, and there's lots to go around, and just overall good vibes that don't stop short. I mean, if you're looking for another hit like Money and Hoes, if I had to guess the second single, I probably would have said it would have been Bitches Get Stitches. That one has the most flagrant bop. That's the closest one I would have felt like has like the most kinetic, the same the same type flow that Money and Hose did. And there's just a lot of stuff on here. Basically, you know, you've got rave songs like You're a Dancer, Not a Lover, and you've got dance club songs uh maybe You're a Dancer, Not a Lover is like a dance club song. I Love Hello Kitty is like a rave song. Sex and Violence is like a real snaking kind of song. This has a real creeping beat, kind of like a bedroom number and kind of like a freaky sense. Blood on the Dance Floor is a nice club song. I already told you about Money and Hose being a nice one. Bitches Get Stitches is kind of like a nice bop, just kind of going about, maybe even like standard car song, that type stuff. I mean, there's so much on here that has like that department as far as talking about having a good time and kind of being out and about. And really, it's too bad that this album is not really to be found on CD, and it's just overall hard to get a hold of, because I definitely feel like it has like the personality to definitely kind of have like many kind of aspects of wanting to be popularized again. But you know, Blood on the Dance Floor, while they did get large, were not quite astronomically large, in the sense that they were, I mean, for some reason, it just feels like the manufacturer on the music they did was kind of pulled the plug on. So it really makes these albums even all the more rare. So if you own this CD, if you do own Let's Start a Riot, consider yourself lucky, because it's definitely a good thing to have. You know, I'm trying to get a hold of it. But so I'm going to go ahead and list to you some of the songs I recommend. Out of 13, if we include the 13th secret song off the deluxe, Libertine, I would have to say I wound up liking 8. So I'm going to go ahead and list those for you. So it would be Money and Hose, You're a Dancer, You're Not a Lover, I Can't Get Enough, Bitches Get Stitches, I Love Hello Kitty, Till Death Do We Party, Sex and Violence, and Blood on the Dance Floor. So, yeah, that's quite a bit. I mean, were virtually most of the songs I chose were virtually ready to go for like a weekend setting. Like I said, I mean, all of these, I would listen to several of these and kind of figure out that it's not going to take long to spark up a swish or something like that, have a good time, kick back, go out to the dance club, even play some of this. It's definitely, I would recommend playing this in the car, that type stuff, the whip, and just overall nice vibes kind of going along with it. And Davi, I mean, to talk about his lyrical flow, I mean, he keeps it simple. He's a decent singer. He became a better singer later on, but he has enough kind of sing-songy vibe towards him. It's mainly his charisma that gets him by, because like the lyrics are like almost trite, but he still has enough interesting personality that I would still listen to him over several like full blown lyricists. I definitely think he's got more charm than folks who put like emphasis into their pen game and stuff. So just the way he kind of says these things is kind of like Ludacris when he's kind of on his more relaxed vibes. That's kind of how Davi is. He's more in like the Afro Man and Too Short. He's kind of more in the Afro Man and Too Short kind of vibe, and it's very compelling. So yeah, so just to kind of talk about this project more, I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't own this if you can actually get a hold of it. I mean, there's so much to kind of be jovial about, and it's an overall recreational project. Doesn't take itself too seriously, unless it's at the end. I mean, to talk about a few songs I didn't enjoy, like a couple of them, like the last 3 songs on the album, I Hope You Choke, Fallen Star, and Libertine, they kind of aim for like a more makeshift and kind of pop rock kind of approach, which I don't really feel like suits Blood on the Dance Floor that well. I think they were trying to kind of show variety, but that's a tangent that didn't really go that well, at least not yet. I feel like they definitely had like the electronic sense going, but some of these kind of came off as like something you'd hear on like rock radio on like a fairly bluesy or mellow kind of day. And Libertine, I think, was dedicated to one of his girlfriends. But if the pianos had not been so ugly in that song, I really like the riff in Libertine, but really the pianos just detracted from it. There are just some songs on here that, like the production, the instruments that kind of are chosen for the production on some of these don't have chemistry, and it kind of detracts. Like that happens with Fallen Star and Libertine, and uh, another one, Modern World Christ. So some of those just kind of are mismatched in a lot of ways. But I'm going to give this album, me liking 8 out of 13, I'm going to give this album an 8 out of 10. I really feel like There were 4 songs that I did not enjoy, and then the intro. I mean, I don't. There's not really much to the intro. It's no vocals or anything, but it wasn't much to really speak of. So 8 out of 13, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Pretty much almost got an 8.5 just because of how much I sheerly enjoyed on here. And I really like the single. I would almost have wished that "Bitches Get Stitches" would have been the second single. That's the song I would have chosen. That's the one I connected the second most with, and just overall fun time to kind of have with it. I mean, really, the social score I'll give like an 8. I'm gonna give that an 8 also, just because it has so much going. Even if it only has one single, there's a lot of songs on here that could be singles, just because the the pungentness and the overall energy and the electricity that they have is very viral. That's definitely a thing. That's something this project has. I mean, when you listen to this, if you're going to try it out and you just are torn away, if you're in like the real hip hop or real kind of lyrics mindset and you listen to this and it's like, whoa, this is just ass-tacular. It's like, well, Blood on the Dance Floor is not about, in a lot of ways, like hypnotizing lyrics. I mean, they are hypnotizing, but they're not Shakespeare. And that's what you have to kind of understand. I don't expect them to. I still enjoy this quite a bit, despite how simple it's kind of is. I mean, simple lyrics can be fun too. Maybe that'd be a good idea for a video, but yeah. So the future, I mean, Davi's been going through problems, just with his controversies and stuff. So I don't know about the future of Blood on the Dance Floor, but as recent as 2019, like late 2019, he put out an album called Hollywood Death Star, and then he did some stuff with the project called Kawaii Monster, stuff like that. And he still drops the occasional song, but it's just very infrequent. So that's kind of the stuff there. But 8 out of 10, 8 social. There's definitely no reason why you shouldn't pick this up. It's too much fun to be had here.